You're watching MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. That's Cody Bollinger getting ready to fight. Who are you fighting? Tyson Nam. That's right, Tyson Nam. I actually spoke to Tyson this morning, and he had a lot to say about your wrestling tactics and your wrestling skill, and that's kind of how the game is going to go.
Uh,
So I don't want to say that Tyson was stressed about your wrestling, but he definitely put a lot of good guys in his camp, and he's up there in Oregon, so it's not that difficult to find good wrestlers in his camp. Is it now becoming, when guys are getting ready to fight you, Cody, that it's like, hey, he's a wrestler that knows how to punch. He's got a pretty decent submission game, but he's going to definitely take me down and control me. Is that kind of the feeling you get now when you're going against all these opponents?
I'd like to think so, yeah. I'm glad that that's one of the things they're worried about. While I keep evolving, they stay worried about the same thing, and I'd like to keep it that way, yeah.
Well, obviously you can see on your shirt you're sponsored by Cage Fighter, and Mike DeSabato is a big wrestling fan, and a big I've known Mike for years. I actually knew his brother Louis better because Louis was the crazy wrestler that after every tournament was on the damn bar, pouring shots on everybody. So that's how I got to know that family. But they're wrestling still seems to be in control of MMA. For as much as they want to say it's a striking game with guys like Anderson Silva and Shabbat Shemaev and some other guys, and like all these Russians that Bellator brought in, it's really the wrestlers that still are kind of controlling everything, and still, at the end of the day, they still kind of win. Do you still feel, especially coming from a wrestling background, but now evolving and knowing the rest of the game, do you still feel like the wrestling's still the most important portion of MMA to learn?
Um, I think every area is just as important to learn, but I think wrestling is the best base to start with. Like Tyson M, his striking, is probably better than mine. We'll see when we fight, but if it is, I have the ability to take it to the ground or keep it standing if I want, and I think that's why so many champions, at elite levels are wrestlers because they can dictate kind of where the fight goes.
You look at guys like GSP, who is either retired or just technically retired for a little bit, not coming from a wrestling background, coming from a karate background, developed it into a really, really good MMA Muay Thai, but then all of a sudden got this great wrestling ability. Is that one of the things that made him stand out to guys like you, is the fact that he could all of a sudden take guys down like Johnny Hendricks, take guys down like myself, all of a sudden he's a wrestler inside the MMA game?
Yeah, really, man. I mean, he was taking top level wrestlers down, and that I think that what kind of sealed the deal on his all around fight game. Made him a well rounded fighter.
All right, now we've gone through all the niceties. You've got a lot of respect. You're a nice guy. So is Tyson. Both of you guys are really respectful of each other. It's not like you're shit talkers. You just aren't those guys. There are the guys out there that will talk shit, but you just don't do that. Does it frustrate you a little bit when you see guys get big matches and get kind of jumped over in the rankings because they're just better talkers than you are?
No, not at all, man. I mean, everybody's got to play their role, and I'm just not good at that type of thing. So they'll get their rise, and I've learned that anything that is worth having takes time. So I'm fine with taking an extra 2 or 3 fights to get to where some shit talkers are. It gives me more time to evolve, anyways.
Let's talk about the Shmaev fight. The last time you fought in Bellator, and you got TKO in the first round by punches. What happened when you fought Shabaliyat? It was one of those situations where it looked like you were kind of in control, and then you weren't. Was there a point where he got clipped a little bit and you kind of backed off, or was it just a surprise? Holy crap! I got hit by something I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, man, I just didn't show up that day. It was my first time under big lights. That was a big fight for me. First time taking a televised fight and whatnot. I kind of let the lights get to me. And then the first 30 seconds into the fight, I tried throwing a head kick. I fall on my ass. I got a little embarrassed, and I kind of just shelled up, man, and didn't try and win the fight. I just tried kind of surviving and not getting beat up too bad. And obviously that didn't work out for me. But I'm glad it happened there instead of next week.
Yeah. So what'd you have to do to counteract that now that that was an issue for you then? How did you stop? How are you going to make that not happen again next time you fight?
The way I felt after that fight, it kind of the problem solved itself. That was a one-time thing for me, and I really don't expect that to ever happen again.
Okay, Cody, we're talking about stuff that happened in the past. You're trying to fix it. I know this is that time of year that everyone goes, New Year's resolution. This is what I want to do for 2014. I don't care what you're going to do for 2014 because every fighter's going to win the belt. Every fighter's going to be the best fighter ever. Every fighter's going to be a millionaire by the end of the year. We all got the same story.
Yep.
What has happened to you since from 2013 to till now? What in the last year is the major significance in your life that's changed you as a man?
Just kind of taking a step back, man, especially being on the Ultimate Fighter show and being able to watch myself. I've never watched myself, live before, and then being able to take a step outside and, kind of view myself in a different light, really made me think about what I want to do with my life and, how I have to be if I want to make this thing a career. And, I think it really helped being on that kind of stage. And, obviously I wanted to win the whole thing, and it could have gone a lot better, but it could have gone a lot worse. I could have never even made it into the house or missed weight for the fight to get in the house. So it was a big learning lesson, and I think that is probably the main thing throughout the last year that kind of helped me evolve.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Cody Bollinger. He's getting ready to fight Tyson Nam on World Series of Fighting number 8 coming up here on January the 18th. Good luck, Cody, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate the call.